It was a frustrating night last night for the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously now we do the challenge of recapping it and kind of looking back at what went wrong against the New York Rangers. Friends, this is Dolynny TV. Good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're tuning in. Glad to have you along for today's video. Of course, if you're new to the channel, we'll do the housekeeping notes now because I feel like I'm going to have a lot to talk about, quite frankly. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, I'd love to have you aboard here if you'd be so kind to hit that subscribe button. That is aside from what we need to talk about, though, as the Oilers, as you see on your screen here, blew a 4-1 lead and lost 5-4 to the New York Rangers in a shootout last night on a day which they moved Dylan Holloway and Vinny Desharnais back to the AHL Bakersfield Condors in a move that I think was very well expected if you had read the reports the day before. However, for us Oilers fans who really love what Vinny Desharnais has brought to the Oilers as the quote-unquote seventh defenseman, and especially on the penalty kill, the result last night is 2 times as painful because of how it happened, right? For the Oilers last night, it was a loss that, well, comes in a couple of multifaceted ways. You blow a 4-1 lead, you failed to chase Shesterkin out of the net, and at the second rate situation, you give up 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal. That's kind of what's got me a little upset, right? The power play goal for Chris Kreider gets them into the game down 3-1. The shorthanded goal by Chris Kreider gets them into the game down 4-2. They scored one 5-on-5 goal all game, and then the power play from Mika Zibanejad ties it at 4 apiece, and then seconds later they almost put themselves up 5-4 in regulation, but thankfully it hit the post. But that's kind of a situation here where, for the Oilers, you erase the special teams, and this was a dominant performance for our Edmonton Oilers, despite getting heavily outweighed in that third period. And I mean, still, you should have been able to bring it home no matter what when you look at it, right? Kreider in the second period, but you give up the only 5-on-5 goal of the game. It gets them within striking distance, and then the power play goal for Zibanejad puts you in the tie that sends you to overtime. And again, maybe to an effect, the power play not as effective for the Oilers as it possibly could have been. They had some great chances and stuff on the 2 they didn't score on, but when you look at it over more so is they had 4 power plays that won in overtime, and they just could not seem to clutch it when they needed to. And perhaps that's the situation here with the power play where it's coming up a little bit dry in the situations it needs to come up big in, and that's kind of an issue as well, right? The Oilers take the only 2 penalties of the third period, both of them, well, ticky-tacky calls in a situation where, well, the Matthias Janmark hook, probably the most definitive penalty out of the 2. The delay of game penalty, it depends what angle you look at. I still think there was something that glanced off the glass, but I think it's clear cut that it was just puck over glass. But again, it kind of sucks, right? Nobody's intending in that situation, especially not Derek Ryan, to throw the puck over glass and end up giving the New York Rangers a 5-on-3 to tie the hockey game, so that's not really a problem. And right, the Kaleri Yamamoto interference penalty, kind of an issue too, and the slashing by Darnell Nurse an issue as well. But I think the worst one out of all of them was the Matthias Janmark penalty with just that little bit left in the third period, just dragging on the guy lazily because he didn't want to get back into play as quick as possible, right? We all accuse Leon Draisaitl of not back checking enough. Well, that was an instance there where Janmark back checks a little harder. He probably doesn't take that hook and call, and you don't ensue that 5-on-3 situation once Derek Ryan flips the puck over the glass. So that's kind of one issue that I had with last night, and obviously two, when you look at the power play and you look at the penalty kill and you look at all that, well, the penalty kill especially, what solves that? Right, I'm looking at this and I'm kind of saying, man, the Oilers made some roster moves yesterday. What would have solved the Oilers' penalty kill troubles last night, going 50% again, and obviously the situation they had last game out against Detroit with Vinny Desharnais out sick? Well, it's just that. Vinny Desharnais has come up since that Anaheim game and proven to be an absolute stud on the penalty kill, clearing out the front of the net, battling in front, blocking in lanes, and just not allowing the opposition much chance to score. And that was proven, right? Is the penalty kill was very good up until that last two games where we've just bled the goals really bad. I know we've had a game or two over the 14 game streak where we've bled points against other teams, but this was a really bad situation for the Edmonton Oilers in this one. And again, showing similar to that Detroit game that Vinny Desharnais needs to be up here, and the Oilers need to find some way to make that happen because you physically cannot be missing him come playoff time based on what we know. Now, secondary to that, friends, it's the deployment of Jesse Puljujarvi that kind of upset me a little bit last night. I know there's been a field day made of it on Twitter, but you look at Jesse Puljujarvi's deployment. The Oilers were 11-6 last night, right? They were down a forward and not up a D-man. They were 11-6 because Klim Kostin was out of the lineup. 1935 for Tyson Barrie, 15.54 for Bouchard, 15.13 for Broberg, 24.51 for Ceci, Draisaitl at 22.41, Fogel at 13.18, 20.59 for Hyman, 14.39 for Janmark with that dumb penalty, by the way, 17.51 for Kane, 19.24 for Kulak, Connor McDavid at 23.35, Ryan McLeod at 15.57, Nugent Hopkins at 23.37, Darnell Nurse at 26.58, Jesse Puljujarvi at 8.24, Derek Ryan at 12.29, and Kyler Yamamoto at 15.20. Now here's the thing, I would 100% agree. If it's a regular old night for Jesse Puljujarvi, sure, yeah, don't play him at all. Like, just, hey, you know what? Let him sit on the bench if he's not going to contribute anything. But he had an assist right out of the gate in that first period, and then somehow manages to only play 8 minutes and 24 seconds in the game. I'm sorry, even if it is more or less just asset protection and you're just using him in a situation where I need to spell a guy for a shift because he's tired, I'm sorry, you just physically cannot tell me that this is at all good asset management by the Oilers to a degree where they're trying to trade a guy that's worth $3 million against the cap at the NHL trade deadline, and you're going to play him for $8.24 even when he gets an assist. That to me is a little off. That to me just does not bode well with me, and this is not a new situation where it only happened last night for Jesse Puljujarvi. And again, right, okay, I'm a homer on Puljujarvi because I've got the jersey up on the wall, sure, but it's so frustrating to see the Oilers continually squander assets year in, year out, and obviously just give a guy like Mark Spector, who just beats up on Puljujarvi in the press, a field day again that he had, I'm sure, at some point today. So that's my frustrations, right, is Vinny Desharnais was definitely missed last night, and the Oilers somehow, despite Puljujarvi having a good game in the limited ice time, only deployed him in the 8 minutes and 24 seconds. And when you look at it too, what did anyone else really give you? What did Yamamoto really give you, right? Shouldn't you be resting him up a bit after injury, right? He takes a dumb penalty too. In terms of anyone else that really got anything done, I don't know, maybe Warren Foegele had an assist too, but plays 13-18. You don't think you could have found some way, somehow, in all of that, an extra minute and a half to get Puljujarvi to 10 minutes? I'm sure you could have when Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent Hopkins are out there playing 23 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever they played. But friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Enough griping for the morning. We'll get on with some real Edmonton Oilers news or some real rumors coming up shortly this afternoon, I am sure. Alright friends, have yourself a great rest of the afternoon before I chat with you again. I am up on out of here.